What's going on, everyone? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who watch my channel, and happy Sunday to everyone else. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Mother's Day edition of the Pandemic Update for Mother's Day, May 12th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, this is where we do the daily Pandemic Update on all things COVID. Any other virus that could be a health threat to you, air qualities, climate, anything that is a threat to us, we talk about it here on the channel each and every day. Today we're going to talk about a few news stories, revisit one from yesterday. Then we're going to talk about some of the daily data that we take a look at, and we have to take a look at air qualities. Why? Because the Canadian wildfires are starting back up again. We usually do take a look at the air qualities, but hey, we need to take a look at that because we could be coming into problems once again. And of course, we are going to take a look at wastewater. Why? Because it's Sunday. That's what we do here on my channel. On Sundays, we like to take a little bit of a deeper dive into wastewater and see what's going across the United States. So let's get started, shall we? First off, if you're new, subscribe down below. Give this a thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get, the better, because it helps keep the channel grow. The more the channel grows, the more we can keep people safe. Yesterday we tried for 125 likes, and we hit that number. Let's try for that again today. Leave any comments down below, and of course share this with anyone you know. Alright, we have to revisit a news story from yesterday. We talked about 3 more cats testing positive for H5N1. However, I left out a very important detail, and I do apologize for this. I did not tell you where this was. It happened in 2 states. First off, in Curry County in New Mexico, and the other one was the third case, which happened in Yellowstone County, Montana. So 2 cases in Curry County, New Mexico, and 1 case in Yellowstone County, Montana, which this is concerning because we have been seeing pretty much all the cats that have tested positive in the United States have been dying so far. So that is not good. Now moving on to this on H5N1, and this is not good either. Lack of bird flu testing may be hiding true spread of virus on U.S. farms. We have heard in the past week, if you didn't see our pandemic updates in the past week, we've seen bits and pieces about H5N1. And one of them is Texas does not want to play along. Texas does not want to cooperate and do their part to allow the CDC to come in, do more testing, do more investigation to find out what is going on here. They're pretty much saying, no, we'll handle this ourselves. Just leave it alone. Money over safety. You got to think that money is coming into the equation somewhere. And here's the problem. We don't know the true number of outbreaks because there is simply not enough testing ongoing at farms. Then you have the problem of farm workers. A lot of veterinarians are reporting that the farm workers that they're coming in contact with, they're sick. They work around these infected animals. And we don't know. Do these farm workers actually have H5N1? I think it's an underreport of how many humans actually have it, and especially animals. We don't know how many farm outbreaks there actually are. We do, but it's probably likely to be an undercount. Now moving on to this. The UK is seeing a rise for COVID once again, and of course there are some age groups that are most at risk, as you know, high risk. Those who did not get their booster shots and those who are immune compromised. Again, remember the KP.2 variant. It's not just rising in the United States, it is rising in other parts of the world. So we'll have to keep an eye on this because back in the day we used to follow the UK. We haven't done so in quite some time, but it is something that we need to watch. Alright, drum roll please. Let's take a look at the pollen levels for today, and the national allergy map shows 42% of the country is in medium to high status, and the most concerning area is, well, first off, state of Maine is pretty bad, but look at the northern plains and the upper Midwest. This is not good, because you're really getting a double whammy in that area. What do I mean by that? Well, first off, you have high pollen levels today. Then we come over to this and allow this to refresh. You need to see this. And we're actually going to go a little bit deeper north than we normally would today. Yes, look at these bad air qualities. Minnesota, Minneapolis, it's coming for you. South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Alberta, Canada, British Columbia. Why is this happening? Well, once again, we are being struck by wildfires up there. Because you got to remember, it wasn't all that cold of a winter for everyone. Yes, the West Coast. I get it. The Colorado Rockies, the California mountains, the mountains of the West Coast, they had a lot of snow. Portions of Canada did not have a lot of snow. So there's not a lot of snow melt right now, and none other than the Canadian wildfires are back again, and that smoke has to go somewhere. It just doesn't go up into the air and evaporate. If weather conditions are right, that smoke can travel thousands of miles. Who remembers last summer when there was wildfire smoke being a problem across much of the U.S., at least the eastern half of the U.S.? We could get back into that again. Remember when we had to do special videos last year because the air quality got so bad? Well, let's go back to this air quality map. You can see here, reds, maroons. Yes, it's not good. Hasn't made its way into the Northeast yet. Don't know when it's going to. All it's going to take is the air to push from the northwest to southeast, and it could impact people. So this is going to be something that we're going to really have to watch going forward. It's something I am really concerned about, because those who have breathing problems already, like myself, this is going to be a real threat to you. Take a look at this. This is from National Weather Service in Grand Forks, and they're talking about as well how some of the smoke is coming down. And really, if you live in these areas, please limit your time outside. Spending too much time outside in that smoke is like smoking a cigarette, or like smoking multiple cigarettes, so it is not good. And one other thing in climate, I had to show this to you. Flash floods, they can be a big threat to our health and lives as well. Our lives can be threatened by it, and unfortunately, in Afghanistan, 300 people have died from flash floodings. Look at this. It's just absolutely terrible. Want to learn more about climate? I have another Twitter account for that. There's another channel, but we don't post on it anymore. There's just not enough time. So there's that where you can check that out. It's Climate Data Report, and just type that in on the search on Twitter, well now known as X, and you will see that. All right, take a look at this. Philadelphia Fire Department yesterday reported 778 EMS calls in Philadelphia. Again, it's below 800, but that's been the theme on the weekends, and then on the weekdays it's been going back above 800 again. And of course, if that wildfire smoke comes down, yes, that's going to make more respiratory calls. Let's do a live look in on Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Not too busy. Seen a lot of alter mental status calls. And remember, we just talked about brain fog yesterday. Well, that could be a part of it too. And there's a whole bunch of different things. Alzheimer's, dementia, a lot of different things that can cause alter mental status. Chester County, Pennsylvania. We do see a call for a sick person. Dead on arrival. That's never good. Stroke. So there are some calls out there, but again, it's not terribly busy. And I suspect when tomorrow's numbers come in for Philadelphia, because I did listen a little bit earlier, it didn't seem too busy. I'm hoping we'll stay below 800 again, but we'll have to see. All right, take a look at Walgreens this past week. The positivity rate nationally was 14%. That was up 1.3%. We'll get a new update on that again tomorrow. All right, what you're most of you have come to see on a Sunday is Wastewater. We do talk about it here and there during the weekdays, but we don't do a full video for it. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to spend about another 8 to 10 minutes on Wastewater now. BioBot this week for COVID did go up slightly in the Northeast, but the rest of the country did not see a rise. What did happen was, like down in the South, it stopped dropping. It's still dropping a little bit, but it kind of slowed its roll. Same with the West Coast. It actually dropped a little bit more in the Midwest, but again, a slight rise in the Northeast. Now moving over to the CDC wastewater surveillance page for COVID. Remember, this is for COVID now. The CDC surveillance page for influenza is not up yet, or if it is, I have not seen it yet. It's supposed to be coming relatively soon, so we'll pretty soon be including that into what we show here on the channel. And for those who are new, which we have had a ton of new subscribers lately, thank you to everyone who has been subscribing to my channel. Let me explain to you how this map works. Any site that's in gray, that means it has not reported. Any site that's in white, either it's new or has not been shown in a while. Sometimes, like for example, several months ago, all of the state of Ohio went white for some reason. Those sites weren't new, they were just coming back. I don't know why it went white. So there's 38 sites that are listed in white. Dark blue. Dark blue is a color we like to see around here. That means that you have very low levels of COVID. 694 sites are currently in dark blue. That's 0 to 19%. Slightly lighter shade of blue, 20 to 39%. Slightly higher COVID levels. 439 sites in that category. 40 to 59% COVID detected. That's getting to be moderate now. 115 sites. 60 to 79% COVID detect. That's in orange. Yeah, that's moderate to high. Still 13 sites in that level. And believe it or not, into red. 80 to 100% COVID detected. It was just one site last week. It is now up to 3 sites. Let's take a look at where 2 of those red sites are. Lockheed County, I hope I'm saying this correctly. Correct me if I said it wrong down below. Missouri. Yes, you've been seeing a rise, and we saw this last week on the wastewater update, and we can see here your rise has continued, and also it looks to be that there is in extreme southwest New York, there is a rise that is going on for COVID, and you're still in the red as well. And I'm also seeing, what's this, in Beaufort, South Carolina, you're seeing a big rise as well. You're orange, but look at this rise. It's been ongoing for quite some time. Should that continue, you may go back into the red. So that's not good to see. We'll come back to the CDC map in just a moment. We have to move to this map now. And let me refresh just to make sure that it is up to date. All right, it is. Now this map takes a look at the wastewater levels on a statewide level. So they take all the wastewater sites, bunch them together, and we get a statewide level. Moderate conditions now reported in Idaho, and in Hawaii, high levels of COVID are being reported with just 8 sites, and we do see here that Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and a bunch of other states are low, and then we have a bunch of states that are reporting minimal, or just have not reported at all. And these white states, look at them, the majority of them are in the minimal right now. That is really good to see. But we can also go region by region in the United States over on Wastewater Scan. So first off, let's take a look at the nationwide levels. And on a nationwide level, COVID, it has been dropping. Most recent update shows an ever so slight increase. I stress again, ever so slight. I mean, I really would have to zoom in on this. You can see here, it's nothing of a big deal at this point, and it's just really small. Now when we go back and take a look at RSV, RSV is low and dropping. Influenza A is seeing a slight rise in the United States. Influenza B, it's holding flat. It was dropping. Now it has leveled off a little bit. HMPV, norovirus, both dropping as well. Now let's go into the region by region outlook. And first off, we'll take a look at the Midwest. And in the Midwest, we can see here that COVID, it is definitely rising a little bit. Not that much, but a little bit. After a long rotation drop. Take a look at RSV, dropping at this time. Influenza A has leveled off. Influenza B is dropping. HMPV is dropping. And norovirus is dropping at this time. Norovirus still being in the moderate to near high range at this point. In the Northeast region, taking a look here, we can see COVID levels are medium at this time. And unlike BioBot, the Northeast is dropping on Wastewater Scan at this time. RSV is not rising, it's low. Influenza A is dropping at this time, and it's starting to drop even more. Influenza B is really dropping. It still says high. I would say that's low to moderate at best. And HMPV and norovirus are dropping at this time, with norovirus still being, that's in the high level. I would agree with that. All right, moving on to the South now. And in the South, we do see COVID, ever so slight increase. After a drop, it's leveled off, and now it's maybe trying to rise slightly. RSV at this time is dropping. Influenza A is seeing a rise at this time, which is not good. Some of that is because of what we have been seeing going on in Texas. Influenza B is dropping. HMPV is rising at this time, and norovirus is high and rising once again. Taking a look at the West Coast region, as a regional look now, we can see there is a little bit of an increase in COVID, and it's been ongoing since about mid to late April. So that's something we'll have to keep our eyes on. And we do know in California, the positivity rate for COVID, let's take a look at that real quickly. The positivity rate for COVID did increase ever so slightly within the past week. You can see it's up to 2.7%. That is up by 0.7%. RSV is low. Influenza A has seen a slight rise. Influenza B is dropping. HMPV was dropping, and it looks like it's still. There's just recent update shows a little update. a little upward. That could easily correct itself on the next update. And norovirus, it's not high. It's actually in the low to moderate range, and it is rising ever so slightly at this time. All right, let's take a look at a few wastewater sites around the country, and we will be going back to the CDC site. We're just going to spend a few more moments on this. Let's first go up to Stamford, Connecticut, and see what's going on there. Stamford, Connecticut, COVID levels are low. RSV is low. Influenza A at this time, it's rising ever so slightly. Influenza B is dropping at this time, and HMPV is rising ever so slightly, as is norovirus. But if we look at HMPV, we can see most recent update is showing maybe it's going to start dropping again. And when we come down here to Mpox, no issues, and not much in the way of issues with hepatitis A at this time. Another site in the Northeast that I wanted to look at, hopefully we can, is Chester, Pennsylvania. Why? Because Chester, Pennsylvania, which is in Delaware County of Pennsylvania, is now starting to see a rise for COVID. And that is concerning because the Northeast states, as we know, tend to see a rise first when a new wave comes on. So COVID levels are rising at this time. No issues with any of the other viruses, except for HMPV is seeing a rise. And norovirus is dropping at this time. Mpox, no issues. And hepatitis A, there are some detections, but that seems to always be the case at this wastewater site for some reason. Alrighty, moving on here. I know this site is starting to lag on us, so hopefully we can keep taking a look at this. I want to come down to Alabama and take a look at what is going on in Birmingham. This wastewater site, 200,000 population, COVID not rising. It's low. RSV, no issues. Influenza A, Influenza B, no issues. HMPV, just a minor rise. Norovirus was dropping and has now slowed its roll. No Mpox detection, and just a few hepatitis A detections at this time. All right, let's go back to the CDC site for a moment. We're not going to look at every wastewater site around the country. We're going to just do a few more, but it is important that we take a look at Chicago. I know I have followers in Chicago, so let's see what's going on there. And in Cook County, I'm trying to find a big site. Let's see, there is one that is over 1 million population. And we can see here in Cook County, not seeing any rises just yet. Here we go. This site is seeing a rise. The other sites weren't, but yes, this is one of the bigger sites. 1.1 million population, so apologies and correction. There is a rise going on at the big site now. And take a look at this here. You can see it is starting to go up. Again, 1.1 million population. And directly next to that is another 1.1 million population site. That one is flat at this time. Hopefully we don't start seeing it go up soon. Here's another one. 3 that are in over 1 million. These are huge wastewater sites. So when you see 2 out of 3 going up, that means things are starting to shift and things are starting to rise once again. Now let's stay with the CDC site for a moment. Actually, no. Let's go back to Wastewater Scan. We want to go out to the West Coast, but in order to do that, West Coast would update faster here on the Wastewater Scan website. Let's go up to Los Angeles. How about up near where Santa Monica and Hollywood? So we'll see what's going on there. And we can see that COVID levels are low. Ever so slight increase is starting for COVID wastewater. RSV low, Influenza A, Influenza B low. I would even say HMPV is low, despite this saying high. It is dropping. Norovirus, we'll say it's low to moderate, but it's not really rising or dropping at this point. No detections of Mpox and hepatitis A. Yes, there are some detections of that. So really good news on Mpox this week. We haven't seen much in the way of cases. And let's stay with the Southwest for a second, going back to the CDC website because they don't have wastewater scan. They don't have any sites in New Mexico or in Arizona on wastewater scan. We can see Maricopa County, Arizona, 50,000 population, and you are dropping at this time. And let's quickly go up to Seattle area, Pierce King County. You can see 896,000 population, and levels they are dropping at this time, though not dropping as fast. They are dropping. Alrighty, folks, we could be here all day doing wastewater sites. You want to see more wastewater sites? Check the daily pandemic update. We'll include a few throughout the week. That does it for the Mother's Day edition of the pandemic update. We'll have another pandemic update again tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, Give it a thumbs up. I know it's a long video today. Subscribe down below if you're new and if you learned anything or if you just want to stay safe. And of course, share this video with anyone you know. Leave any comments down below. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Sunday evening. Thanks for watching.